Hello, everybody. Welcome to another daily dose of gaming news and all that good stuff. And as always, I also publish on Rumble and on Patreon for extra support. Um, my only difficulty at this moment in time is getting around having at least a couple of hours during the day so I can stream. Other than that, everything seems to be okayish. But yeah, let's go to the news. Similarly, in some markets regarding GPUs, the prices seems to be kind of stabilizing to a certain degree. Specifically, the German GPU market. Kind of overall, they seem to be going around about the same pricings on average. Again, this is on average, not all of them. Kind of the same from September last year, which is a lot of months, so at least 6 months ago, when you saw starting the creep on the prices of the GPUs. Again, even though again the September it's taken as a baseline, so 100% there, and at this moment there is a kind of an average incline of round about between 9 to 12% from the September prices there. But it ramp up a little bit to around 110, around 120% of the prices as a reference from September. Again, some of the prices here are not the MSRPs of some GPUs. Got, for example, the 5090. This is in euros, 2300 euros. Again, these prices already include taxes, but this seems to be, I don't know, around 25 to $2,600. In terms of the prices there. Again, in terms of the 9070 XT, almost at the MSRP, if not mistaken. I think it was around 600 or round about 600 euros, if not mistaken. Current there, so it's kind of a baseline relatively close to the supposed MSRPs. But yeah, still, again, the price should be lower, of course. These GPUs already came out to the market at least a year ago, give or take, depending on the model itself. But it seems that in some markets, in this case the German one, things similarly are kind of stabilizing, it seems, because it's been kind of dipping a little bit in the last 3 months or so. But yeah, we need again we need this thing to get over as fast as we can. Again, probably there will be some ramp up in some prices. I'm assuming that because of the summertime, supposedly prices tend to creep a little bit because it's a lot of holidays and vacation time. So I assume that manufacturers or the stores will maybe creep up a little bit on those prices there. Even though specifically on North American market, I think, for example, got the big chain store that usually does good deals. And now I completely erased from my mind. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. I wish I could remember. Um, I always talk about it. It's something that again my brain sometimes gets mushy before I do the programs. But yeah, there are some deals here and there that usually it's with combos to try and incentivize. Usually now in these days to try and incentivize some motherboards with some CPUs they pair up with, or DDR. Sometimes comes with GPU stuff there. Again, uh, as an advice, if you are building a new PC or new system, again, take an account that and a very realistic approach, as always, is if you really want to just again, I don't think at this moment in time we will see any kind of huge decrease to normal pricing before this thing of the RAM apocalypse started throughout this year. I don't know, because again, there are some other circumstances that I think will probably ramp up a little bit the price of certain stuff, electronics wise, from the chips and the RAMs and all that jazz. But again, take into account what kind of games that you want to play, specifically kind of resolution wise and kind of an ideal FPS kind of thing, and then buy your hardware around it. Usually, um, like the math stuff is at around about almost half of the budget should go to a GPU, supposedly. But then the prices of the RAM and all that jazz, again, a lot of depends. But always take into account that those two factors, resolution and FPS, and then try to make an approach or something that you might want to upgrade in the future, like a platform. In this case, I think still the best one at this moment in time is AM5. You can buy a decent motherboard where you can afterwards, if there is a deal or something like that, that you can upgrade the CPU and maybe put more RAM. I don't know, something like that. A case can be like any case these days. Again, a cheap case usually already brings some fans there. Buy a PSU accordingly. Also, usually I buy the PSUs to last me. I don't know, at least a couple of systems. I think the last before I made the system that I have now, I had a PSU that lasts me for I don't know 2000, at least 15 years, and it handled all the GPUs, all the CPUs, all the things that I eventually changed. The PSU was the same. So again, but again, waiting. I'm not sure if waiting at this moment in time is the best option. The same thing for upgrading. Again, depends on the situation. Again, there is a lot of I don't know varieties of configurations, but maybe maybe wait for a deal. But again, don't hang up yourself too much on that. But yeah, other than that, I don't know what else to tell you regarding hardware. We might see some products stabilize a little bit here and there, specifically on the like the mid-tier products range of products, but because usually those are the ones that have still a lot of stock to go through, so the prices can be a little bit more competitive. Other than that, high end usually is it's not a waste of money, but it can be depending on you can basically you can burn your budget and maybe you're not guaranteed of bottlenecking, for example, the GPU or the CPU there. But again, it depends a lot. Depends on a case to case basis. But yeah, Micro Center. That's the store I was wanted to talk about. Usually has good deals. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see how this hardware stuff, specifically on the GPU side and the RAM stuff there. Again, let's see how it progresses throughout the year. But I don't foresee any like huge changes downwards. That's for sure. But I think we're going to see some spikes in terms of prices throughout the year. But yeah, hopefully prices will go down. In terms of game stuff, again, guys still kind of doubling down on AI things here. This time is Sony. Supposedly is going to double down on AI in PlayStation Studios, so first-party studios, of course. But again, from the CEO of PlayStation and also the president of Sony CEO and PlayStation president and CEO, they kind of try to reiterate again what they are saying seems kind of more in line of my philosophy here, which is basically the philosophy seems to be AI as a tool, not a replacement of some sorts. Um, as they say, some of the code says AI is a powerful tool, but it's not a replacement for artists or creators. It is an amplifier of human imagination and a catalyst for new possibilities. The vision, the design, and the emotional impact of our games will always come from talent of our studios and performance. AI is meant to augment their capabilities, not to replace them. Again, we got some cases here where they are already using AI tools, let's say. One of them is the Mockingbird, which is basically animation, 3D animation for performance capture. So it kind of I'm assuming that you can capture like crucial movements, and then the rest of the movements that the character will do in game, it can leverage through this Mockingbird platform. Again, this is not AI. This is kind of I don't know, machine learning. There, it's kind of more specific. For example, this kind of performance capture animation, because then you got also the AI animation tool for air, which is similarly, it's already been used on Zero Dawn Remaster, Horizon Zero Dawn Remaster, sorry, which is basically supposedly you take a picture from a hair, from I don't know, a haircut, and then basically that converts into a 3D model of that haircut, let's say, which is something interesting. And then we got also more on the side of um, the AI routine of the, I don't know, the NPC stuff there, specifically for Gran Turismo, which is basically supposedly added the level competitive gameplay for even our most seasoned drivers. Again, I'm not sure. I don't play Gran Turismo 7, but it seems that is something more in tune for AI to try to adapt, sorry, to the difficulty and maintain the same difficulty, but to come up with new strategies. I assume, in this case of Gran Turismo 7, because it's all the NPC racing stuff there. Usually, it's a little bit always, if it is kind of medium, sometimes it's too easy. In a lot of races, you get one lap in an advantage. If you tweak a little bit more, it's quite almost impossible to race to race against the NPC stuff there. But again, if they can manage to at this moment, given these examples, kind of maintain these kind of things, which is basically is a little bit the work of the human developers, let's say, with these tools to overcome the laborious kind of no kind of nonsense and repetitive workloads. I think we might, again, if it is in this kind of sense, I kind of I kind of can go by with with AI as a tool there, instead of kind of replacing, coming up with new things, which is always based on databases. So there is also that regarding machine learning. It's not AI. But yeah, and the same thing is can be said again. I covered this yesterday. Supposedly, Round Eight, which is from Neowiz, Lies of Pi Studios and publisher from this game. Supposedly, they are doubling down on story and generative AI. Again, this is a kind of almost another way of going about it. Again, again, it's all about the philosophy of the principle of using as a tool to ease the work of the person itself. Because it's like I said yesterday, it's like a carpenter. As a carpenter, if you only have a hammer, again, everything will be like a nail, which is usually not the best approach for a carpenter job. Um, but again, you're trying to put everything as a hammer. So basically, all the obstacles were going to be nails. And again, I don't think it's the best way to go about it. Let's see how it goes in terms of what they are going to use here. But also in this article, they again, financially the studio seems okay, and they already have some stuff on the pipeline from Neowiz, which is the sequel Lives of Pi that I covered yesterday, Project Rubicon, again kind of RPG. We got a live simulation Project CF Full Fly Studios project, retro sci-fi first-person RPG. Um, Hmm. I think Wolfeye, the studio is not it's not strange to me. I think I already covered something from them. Then we got Zakazane Studio Project, which kind of seems Noir West CRPG, and then Project Windy Souls like RPG. Again, a lot of Souls like here. But yeah, hopefully they again, it's a little bit of the principle of how to use this tool, if they are considering a tool but another replacement. Again, I can understand if there is some kind of a concept thing there, where you can throw around some ideas and let the AI try to come up with more stuff there in line what the person wants to create. Again, it's a little bit finicky, but again, let's see. We have to wait to see how this adoption of AI throughout the industry. Again, we're going to see some cases where it probably is going to be applied well and others not so good. Yeah, we have to wait for the final result there to a certain extent and evaluate the results of that work there. In terms of Crimson Desert, interestingly, sorry, they already sold 5 million plus for sure. We're almost reaching 2 months since the launch date. Again, interestingly enough, 80% of the sales are coming from North American and European market, which leaves only 20% around for, I don't know, the bigger one, which is the Asian market. Very interesting. And the game is been selling well also, almost $200 million, give or take, right about now. And again, they are expecting that the game will, by this end of this year, probably, I don't know, 500, $500 million in terms of revenue, not profit, but in revenue. But yeah, interesting. Let's see how they how this game will evolve. There are some throwing around that they are exploring DLC for this game. Again, I think that at this moment they are doing the best the best thing, which is focus on the game, tweaking around the game, taking the feedback of players and do those changes on the game. I think in terms of the weakest part of the game, it seems to be the story wise. In a little bit, the pace of the story seems a little bit off in some instances. But other than that, it seems like an excellent sandbox in terms of the player go about and interact with the gameplay systems there. Again, hopefully, given that got very positive feedback from the majority of players, hopefully this sells well and incentivizes the developers of doing, I don't know, a sequel or a spin-off. I don't know. Depends. I never played the game, so I'm not sure how something of a sequel or a spin-off can be better for this IP. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see what they are, what will they come up with afterwards. Then we got Silent Hill Half. It's kind of a newer game also. They already shipped shipments and digital sales. Okay, this includes shipments and digital sales, which is not the total sales. It seems 2 million units worldwide as of April 22nd. Again, the game seems interesting. I never saw any gameplay. Again, I usually avoid games that I'm interested in one day of the or one day in the future to play. Not put myself in a spoiler area there. So usually I ignore any kind of gameplay just because of that. But yeah, it seems to be a good game on the main line of Silent Hill. But yeah, interesting enough, again, I'm not sure if if this goes in line with the expectations of the publisher and the studio there. But yeah, 2 million units is not that bad. Again, Silent Hill was again. I think that the last game was not that good, and it's been like a while there. Again, I think Silent Hill 2 remake managed to pick a little bit more the interest for the franchise. But yeah, I think this one, because it took a kind of a left turn, let's say, of the previous live Silent Hills mainline games. This one is set up on Japan in the 60s. I'm not sure how the horror and the story and the the themes are similar or not to the previous Silent Hills, because usually the Silent Hill, at least my recollection, is it's very much about trauma and the fact that basically Silent Hill is a place that projects and augments your fears and regrets. Um, it kind of ramps up everything that the main character the bad side of their thoughts and desires. Again, he usually doesn't go very well. Usually, that's the horror that in terms of the theme there. It's not the scare jump scare stuff. It's more like the horror of the inner person of the main character there. Usually, that's usually the best exploration. And again, mostly positive, around about 75 to 78%, give or take, in terms of average, in terms of positive feedback. Again, I think one of the things that didn't went very well is the fact that the game itself is 80 euros or $80. Again, it's a little bit on the expensive side for something that for a franchise they're basically trying to relaunch after all these years. Again, I'm not sure if this was the best move here. Again, trying to squeeze all the money out of it. It's almost yeah, 100. Again, this is a pack here. It's $90 for the digital deluxe edition. It's a little bit much. I think they should have not gone to the new tiered price there. I think there's something from the average price like the $70. And even so, again, I'm not sure if it worth that much there. But yeah, I'm interested in seeing and checking this game here. But yeah, at the moment, again, oh, it's Unreal Engine. Okay, that's interesting. But yeah, and then last I will leave this. Again, this has been this thing here with the mixtape game or wannabe game. Again, I didn't cover anything from this piece of software, let's say, but I listened to again Legendary Drops. He usually has a way of expressing his ideas, and so far I agree with basically almost 100% of the subject, the topics that he covers. Again, I don't watch his live streams, but this kind of more scripted videos, I think I rarely miss any of the topics that he approaches, and so far I tend to agree with him and the majority of the stuff that he goes about. And again, the discussion that I start seeing in some articles regarding mixtape, I think he goes a little bit more to the point. Try to remove the layers of very superficial discussion that it's been around regarding this mixtape, getting 10s out of 10s for a 3 hour interactive movie, let's say. I think he goes to the point and explores a little bit more deeper than this kind of supposedly websites of journalists that cover games. But yeah, basically this is it for them. Just going to wrap up with some gaming deals. We still have Hell is Us, sorry, 60% off. We got also Karma the Dark World, 48% off. We got Mutant Year Zero Road to Eden, very decent game. Again, at this price point, I made a series out of it. If you want to check it, or you can try out the demo there to have an idea what this game is all about. It's kind of basically an XCOM game. The story is interesting enough to keep you going. But yeah, I can recommend at this price point. We got also Nine Souls, 60% off. We got Red Dead Redemption 2, 75% off, very cheap for supposedly a very excellent game. We got also The Book Walker, Thief of Tales. Again, this is kind of isometric RPG in turn-based there, if not mistaken. Again, it's with a bundle here from Do Not Feed the Monkeys. Again, I think this game seems pretty good in terms of the isometric and kind of adventure. Again, you delve, every world is a book by itself, so you dive inside the books, which is an interesting concept there. And then lastly, we got Invincible, again 60% off, based from the book of Stanislav Lou. And yeah, basically this is it for today. I'm a little bit scattered in my thoughts here. I'm having a busy day, but yeah, sorry about the rambling. But yeah, I will try to do. I will do my best here to see if I can stream today. But yeah, I cannot promise anything. In the meantime, hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next one. So until then, Kunami Master out.